won't be sick.
Another beautiful day to be a Raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield, I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation, and you've come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring the
What's up, Raider Nation? I'm the Commish, coming to you live from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. Deep behind the enemy line, this is Raider Reaction. As we do every Monday and Wednesday on Raider Reaction, we drop back deep in the pocket and let it fly league-wide as we touch on all the hot league topics coming out of week 13. Because there are 31 enemies as well as our beloved Silver and Black. Because with 5 weeks left, we got to know what's going on around the rest of the league. So let's get right in to some of the juice that there is. First off, thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate any second you stop and spend with me on Raider Reaction. So, thank you, first off, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our new intro to the show. Added a couple little nuggets of flavor to there. Obviously, first and foremost, Mr. Hector Hernandez's stellar guitar solo of the Autumn Wind. And I feel privileged that he allowed me to use it to open my show with. So, for the foreseeable future, we may change it up, because, as you know, I change the entrance occasionally. But I still kept the basic in there, but I thought it was an amazing thing, and I feel honored to have it as part of the show. So let's get right into some of the big news. Obviously, big win yesterday for our beloved Raiders as we take down the Giants handily fashion. We held that we held the 10-7 much longer than I would have liked to seen. I would have liked to see us step on the throat a little quicker, but it did not happen. But we will have to take the 24-17 because it is what it is. Some quick positives, because obviously tomorrow, as you all know, is our Raider Nation report, where we do the full condensed game after our victories, as well as get ready for the following game. So tomorrow, we will really get into the real fine details, but I do have some hot points I want to touch on tonight as we're rolling through the rest of the league news for the week. So bear with me. Come along for a ride, as let's go through what was and is Week 13 in the National Football League. What's up, Missouri Melissa? All right. Beast mode. Over 100 yards. He continues to progress. He continues to, looks like he's getting his swag back a little bit. Starting to hit his stride a little bit. Everybody that was ready to cut him, release him in the first month of the season were the same ones that were burning their jersey. And, you know, wanting nothing to do with the team after 5, 6, 7 weeks into the season. Season was over, they said. Season was over. Well, guess what? Season ain't over. Season ain't over. Was never over. Was in jeopardy many times, but was never over. Never over. It's never over. So beast mode, as I've said I don't know how many times, he needs to get the ball 20 to 26 times, 20 to 25 times a game. They get him the ball 26 times this game. And that gets him in a groove. That helps him start to impose will. He's the kind of running back that you got to get. He's got to be impactful on the game. He's got to get hit a few times. He's got to go out there and hit somebody to get the engine moving. So going out and getting a running back like Marshawn, you had to know that when you went and got him, how you were going to have to use him if you were going to bring him in. So I think as Marshawn is starting to get comfortable in the Raiders are starting to get comfortable with Marshawn as well. So I believe it's a little bit of a double give and take there, as both are starting to learn how to play with each other. But he's steadily gotten better. He had, let's not forget, he was 6.1 yards as a rush against New England, 61 yards in the first half when we had to abandon the run because the team was down so bad. But it wasn't due to Marshawn. Marshawn was the only damn thing going in New England. And then he came out last week, even better, against the Donkeys. And then this week, he goes over 100. So, that's all you want to see, is steady progression. He's getting better. Are we working towards our peak when we should? The end of the season? We certainly hope so. We certainly hope so. Somebody who's not working to his peak towards the end of the season is Ben McAdoo. As we laid the bit slap to his career, and he was fired systematically after his trip to the Coliseum. Mr. McAdoo, you and your freaking greased ass Pat Riley wannabe looking ass with your slick back hair, you benched one of the greatest quarterbacks you've ever freaking had in the history of your franchise. You low-rent Pat Riley. Now your ass is fired. Stupid move. Stupid move. Yo, I've got a dumpster fire going over here. Let me stand here and dump some gas on it. That's pretty much what you did when you decided to bench Eli Manning. Yeah, I got a fire over here. Let me see if I can put that out with this gallon of gasoline. What an absolute moron. And so, Glenn's like, I do the Pat Riley. You know what, Glenn? I pull no punches on any of you guys that have hair, because I have no sympathy for any of you. Any of your hair problems at all. I don't want to hear about it. You want a hair problem? That's a hair problem. Lack of hair. I don't want to hear about your hair problems. If I did have hair, I wouldn't be looking like something straight out of The Outsiders. No. It's not the 50 there, pony boy. It's not the 50s. But he's jobless, so you're going to get demoted down to play some minor league football. Maybe Tennessee needs a coach. Maybe you could go knock on the door and see if Tennessee maybe give you a look. I hear they're looking for a coach. They've been looking for a coach for a while. Maybe. But I think it's going to be a minute before we see McAdoo back at a head coaching position in the NFL, because I think he proved he can't cut it. And we will have the full condensed game tomorrow on the Raider Nation Report at the same time, same channel as always. 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. The Raider Nation Report with yours truly. We will have the entire Raiders Giants game, condensed game, cut out all the bullshit. It's about 30 to 35 minutes. And then we will touch on the fine points. Barry, week 13, then start talking queefs, because that's what's next. And that's what is on the docket this week. One last touch on the Raiders before I want to hit some of the league news, and we'll jump back into Raiders. But the defense looked solid. We got sacks. We got turnovers. Bruce Irvin created havoc. Khalil Mack was a man among boys out there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it. And thank you all, as always, for joining me. I appreciate any second you stop with me on Raider Reaction, new, old, my band of pirates. Thank you for joining me. The D was solid. The D has looked, as much as you wouldn't think a change this late in the game at defensive coordinator, we've seen positive with Pagano running the defense. What is the reason for that? Whether the move was the reason for that, who really knows? But regardless, positives are happening. And that's really all that matters. Positives are happening. Positives are happening. Now this story is probably the one that pissed me off the most coming out of the weekend. Is this story right here. This is the one that for sure. Now, I'm sure, Raider Nation, you all seen the Gronk play from yesterday. The defender is on the ground, damn near in the prone position. Hands and knees, kind of. Gronk comes in from behind, mind you. The guy never seen him coming, was not able to prepare for the hit. The play was over. Basically pushing himself up, kind of off the ground in a push-up type position. And Gronk comes in, full elbow, full speed, into the base of his neck, back of his head, upper back area. And just completely lays the dude out. Completely blindsided him, bitch move, sucker punched his ass. The guy never even seen it coming. Not only that, the guy leaves the field with a fucking head injury. One game A man the size of Gronkowski can completely blindside a guy who's on the ground, who never even sees him coming, and leaves the game with a head injury, and he gets one game. Now let's rewind a week. Our wide receiver had to appeal down to a game from his 2-game suspension from getting in a minor scuffle with a guy who has basically assaulted him twice. Who the hell comes up with the sliding scale of these suspensions? Getting a fist fight and nobody gets hurt when most of the guys have helmets on. 2-game suspension. I will appeal it. Okay, down to 1. Caveman clubbed your old lady. Drag her unconscious out of an elevator. 2 games. Completely sucker punch. Blindside a guy with an elbow to the base of his spine. When you're trying to say you're wanting to clean up the game and you don't want any injuries and you give that guy a game, it's not because Robert Kraft's all up in your pocket. That has nothing to do with it, does it, Goodell? I'm sure it has nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with your lunch with Robert Kraft, your little phone call, or whatever Bobby needs to do. But the fact that that man only got a 1-game suspension for that, when that guy might not even play this week because of that, there is no consistency whatsoever in the way these punishments are handed down. There is no consistency. None whatsoever in the way these punishments and suspensions are handed down. The way these fines are handed down, no consistency. None. Even the referees were pissed off last week about the way Jackson's fine was handled. It is really all complete and utter bullshit. Sometimes. You may not be far off, Glenn. You may not be far off. With all this Harvey Weinstein and everything else popping out, Matt Lauer, who knows? Who knows what's going on between Goodell and Kraft? I'm saying nothing. Glenn said it. It was Glenn's fault. The Raider reaction is on the Twitter. If you have not followed us on Twitter, go follow us up on Twitter at Raider Reaction. The whole team's on there, not just myself. So go follow us up at Raider Reaction on the Twitter, as well as our YouTube channel. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. All the shows are archived there after they are aired every night. All of our hype videos, all of our promo videos, everything is archived there. All the shows that are produced in Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. Hardcore Challenge Live Studio Webcasts is the name of our YouTube channel. Hardcore Challenge Live Studio Webcasts. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go follow us on Twitter at Raider Reaction. So, like I was saying, completely disagree. I think Gronk, that should have been handled a little more severely. And I would like to see a little bit of uniformity in the way these players are punished. There's the sliding scale for punishments is just all over the freaking map. All over the map. He worries me a little too, Michael, but I think that will come with confidence. With winning comes confidence, with momentum. It all goes hand in hand. Yes, he's got happy feet. Yes, he's got happy feet. But he's got a reason to. He's been injured 2 times now and he's been hit a lot. His offensive line is not protecting him. And it's starting to show in the confidence of his throws. He's not standing strong. He's not stepping and throwing like he typically does. got happy feet, man. I call it happy feet, where you see him pitter patter like he's just not set because he's ready to move at any time. Doesn't have the confidence that I could stay right here for a split second, step and fire this ball. He just doesn't have that confidence. He's ready to slide and move at any second, which is hurting his delivery and his accuracy. I want to see him stand a little stronger in the pocket, a little more gunslinger, a little more stand in there, a little firing through the traffic. But the offensive line has to provide him that. He's lost his confidence in this and his feel good about his offensive line. You got to get that back. Once he feels confident with those protecting him, you'll start to see it firing off again. I have complete confidence that we are on an upward turn. We have not hit the peak of where our capabilities are this season. Have not hit the peak. Now, let's jump back into some league news as we're spinning around the league, as we do every Monday and Wednesday on Raider Reaction, with Ghost to the Post, dropping back deep in the pocket and letting it fly league-wide, as we'll hit on all the hot league news coming out of Week 13, Silver and Black, as well as our 31 other enemies. The NFC. Somebody asked me last week on one of the shows who I thought was going to take the NFC. I said the Saints. The reason I said the Saints last week was their two-headed running monster, Ingram and Kamara. And again, they looked big again this week as they take down not only their division rival, but their big NFC rival, the Carolina Panthers. To me, in the NFC, I think the team that is for real, and I've been saying it for a while now, is the Saints. Drew Brees can drop 400 yards on your ass any given Sunday without batting an eye. And if he has a running game to go with that, they've proven they can do it before. That takes me to that other team that everybody's talking about in the NFC. The Eagles. Like I've also been saying for weeks, I don't believe in the Eagles. Yes, the Eagles are on a stretch of winning all those games until this coming last week. But like I said, they're young. Nobody has any playoff experience. Their quarterback didn't even play in major college football. Played in North Dakota State. I don't think they've been tested, and I don't think they're ready for the playoffs. Look at the teams they've beaten. Their schedule is easy. They've had a very soft schedule thus far. They had to go deal with Seattle. On the road. They did not look good. Seattle took care of them. The bitch pigeons showed up to play last night. And like I've been saying, I do not believe in the Eagles. I don't. They're the team. They are your 2016 Dallas Cowboys. They are the team that threw a bunch of young guys together. They gelled quick. They peaked quick. And they're going to crash hard. The 2017 Philadelphia Eagles are your 2016 Dallas Cowboys. That's for sure. That is what I honestly believe. I think out of this last week, you finally seen who in the NFC is for real and who isn't. honestly think you've seen that. Now in the AFC. Things are hairy. Things are very hairy, especially in our division. The Patriots, the Cheatriots, they're running away with the AFC East. As we thought they would. It looked like the Bills were possibly going to have some fight in that game. And they're still knee-deep in the wild card race. But it doesn't seem like they were as serious a team as they look like they may be. Now in the AFC North, the Steelers are sitting at 9-2 on a 6-game winning streak. They're playing right now. Anybody got a score check on the Steelers game? Score check on the Steelers game. Please throw it up in the comments. Possibility of going to 10-2. The Ravens are hanging around there on a 3-game winning streak at 7-5. Their defenses look much improved. In the South, you got the 8-4 Titans and Jags. Both teams, especially the Jags, with a really solid defense, but both teams share one thing in common. I don't trust Marcus Mariota, and I sure the fuck would not trust Blake Bortles at all. And as good as their defense is, the Jacksonville Jaguars still have to go into the playoffs with Blake Bortles as your quarterback. Blake Bortles is your quarterback in the playoffs. Enough said. I've seen that guy throw some of the worst throws I've ever seen an NFL freaking starting quarterback throw. I mean, I've seen his wide receiver jump up in the air and throw his hands in the air and look up at the ball and then look back at the quarterback like, what the fuck, man? That thing was like 15 feet over my head. He's a bad quarterback. I don't know how he's a starting NFL quarterback because there are teams backups in the league that are better than his ass. So he is the Achilles tendon of the Jags. And I'm not sold on Mariota either. I'm not sold on him either. I don't put him. He's like Bortles 2.0. He's on a little higher curve than Bortles, but I wasn't sold on him any more than I was sold on famous Jameis crab legs. But everybody kept shoving them down our throats and telling us those two were the next two greatest quarterbacks. Yeah, well, how's famous Jameis' team doing? And this is the first season Mariota's got a chance to get something done, so we'll see what he can do. I did see the injury jukebox, and that was a very bad-looking injury, man. The guy's legs were not moving. He grabbed for the middle of his back, and positive thoughts to that guy. Hopefully, yeah, it did not look good. Hopefully it was just a stinger, but yeah, it did not look good. It was not good looking. Just going in for a routine tackle. Now, of course, I saved the best for last. Let's look at our division, the AFC West. As there is a 3-way tie at 6-6. Because you know, the season was over, right? A month ago, the season was over. Because, you know, we end seasons in the NFL in fucking October. Come on. Remedial ass fans who were calling the season over a month or so ago don't understand what kind of marathon an NFL season is. Chiefs have lost 4 in a row. Chargers have won 3 in a row. We've won 2 in a row. Donkeys have won. Lost 8 in a row. Oh, I have to beg to differ, Michael. You play 16 games in the NFL. If you leave with a W in any of them, in any way, shape, or form, it's a win. Doesn't matter. You'd like to be prettier. You'd like to see more points. You'd like to see more crisp. Doesn't matter. A win is a win in the NFL. A win is a win in the NFL. And that's all that matters. Because you file that one, and now you're on to the next one. And that's just how it works. Sometimes you got to win ugly. Because if we didn't manage to win that game ugly, our season would probably be over right now. Or be really damn close. We'd be teetering on the edge. It was not a pretty win on the offensive side of the football. But it was not a bad win on the defensive side of the football. You play the teams that they put in front of you. And that's all you can do. Now, obviously, the big talk is the showdown this week. Like I said, and as you all know, every Tuesday is our Raider Nation report. Tomorrow, we will start the show off with the entire replay of the condensed version of the Giants-Raiders game. Be about 30-35 minutes. All the bullshit's cut out. Just play. It's the condensed version. So we'll go through that and break it all down. Then we'll bury that game. Spend the rest of the show hitting on the news, all the up-to-date Raider news, and get ready for Week 14 Raiders at Queefs. But let's jump back into a little league news right quick. Ravens cornerback Jimmy Smith suspended 4 games for PED use. Now, Jimmy is not going to appeal this. Why, might you ask? Well, it's because he's fucking guilty. That's why he's not going to appeal it. That's why you don't appeal a suspension, is because you should be suspended for what you were doing. And he knows it. So that's why he's not appealing his suspension. That's why. Well, you're just about to see that. We're about to play Kansas City. And maybe you'll be happy then, Michael. What do you want? I'm just curious. Your team has won 2 games in a row. They put themselves in a 6-6 tie atop the AFC West. You are at week 14 in the season. You are at week 14 in an NFL season. And your team is still in the playoff hunt and the division hunt. As a fan, what more do you want? I'm curious. Isn't that all you want? Is for it to be the end of the NFL season and your team's still relevant and fighting? Every season is not sunshine and rainbows from start to finish. My God. I can't remember the last 16-0 season we had. Can't remember the last... How many have you seen in the history of the NFL? Teams lose. It's a tough fucking league. A win's a win. Was it the prettiest win? No. Neither was the Donkeys. But you know what? Doesn't matter. When I go back in the statistics, what's it say? W. Doesn't say, that was an ugly win. That was an ugly win. No. It says W. That's a 2-game winning streak. I don't understand why. Yes, we all wanted us to go in and just kick the teeth in on the Giants yesterday. Everybody wanted it. It didn't happen. You know why? Because regardless of the record of the team on the other side of the ball, that's a roster of 50-some professional athletes who still have something to play for. Whether their season's over or not, all those guys that suited up were playing to try and make sure they have a job next year. Go ask Kansas City Chiefs. how they felt about the Jets yesterday. Another team that they should have never lost to. But you know what? That team they were playing was a group of professional athletes. And they're coming out on every play, and they're giving effort, and they're trying on every play. So I don't get it, man. I don't understand the fans that aren't. I understand being critical, but not to be critical that you can't be happy about the situation your team is in at this point in the season. This is all you want as a fan. It's week 14, man. There's 4 games left, and our team is tied for the division lead. Who gives a shit how it happened? Who cares? It doesn't matter. All the rest of that is irrelevant. It's week 14, and we are tied for first place in the AFC West in week 14. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season, I'll put you in a tie for the division title or the division crown in week 14 regardless of record, you'll be tied for first, I'd say fucking give it here. Sign me up. Take it. Tied for the division title at week 14 regardless of record. Give it to me. I'll take it. That's good betting odds right there that you're possibly going to the playoffs. So how could you not be happy about that? Yes, we all want better. We all want better. But how could you not be happy about where we currently are? I don't get it. I don't get it. This game, this is like a playoff game right now we've got this week. This is this is the biggest game we've had in a calendar year. How can you not be up for this game? I don't get that one. I don't get that one. All right, let's jump back in and spin back into some league news right quick, and then I'll jump back into some silver and black. The 6-6 Green Bay Packers pull out an overtime victory over the Bucks. And all of a sudden they're, we're still in the playoff hunt. And Aaron Rodgers is almost possibly available to be cleared and come back. So there's the possibility that you get Aaron Rodgers thrown in the NFC mix with a Packers team that is starting to not play terrible. If they'd had Rodgers in there instead of Hundley throwing them interceptions, the wild card is still wide open in the NFC. They're not going to catch the 10-2 Vikings. Not at this point. The Bengals are winning right now. What's the score, Andrew? Score check, please. That would be a crazy deal right there. The Bengals pull that out against the Steelers. I mean, it only dropped the Steelers to 9-3. It'd make it a little interesting, more of a race with them and the Ravens. But they're at this point with 4 games left. They damn near got that division locked up unless they absolutely fell on their face. So, yes, the loss 17-10 Bengals. Ooh, 20-10 Bengals. Must just put a field goal there. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. So, a couple things. I told you about the Twitter. Make sure you follow it. I told you about the YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe to it. But we are also looking to broaden our team at Raider Reaction and our mission to paint the world silver and black. To bring you the best news, the best graphics, the best live feeds, the best live streams from events. We've added in our halftime show. We're changing up our show lineup to add in more silver and black flavor in our weekly lineup. But we are looking to add some members to the Raider Reaction team to help in our mission to paint the world silver and black. We're looking for graphic artists for the page. Guys that want, if you've got the knack to make the funny, fresh memes for the week. We want some graphic artists dedicated to Raider Reaction to help put graphics and stuff out there on our page so that Raider Nation can share it up and see the Raider Reaction logo flying around. So if you're a graphic artist and you're looking for a little more public platform to get your works out there, hit us up. Also, if you're an aspiring show host and you have some Raider Nation flavor, some silver and black flavor that you want to share with the Raider Nation, we're willing to give you the opportunity to use the platform at Raider Reaction the same as I use it, just not in my time slot. But if you have an idea, a gimmick, something that you would like to pitch and try, please send us a message and hit us up. Be willing to hear it. Pretty much anything silver and black related. We would like the Raider Reaction to be able to use as an outlet for anybody in the Raider Nation who's got something that wants to get out there. So if you have, I like where you're going, Michael. But seriously, if you have something that you can bring to the team, even if it's just an admin and help advertise for the page, share the show, and just help, hunt down news stories and bring content to the page. Pretty much anybody that has the desire to help us spread the silver and black. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to build the strongest team for a fan page that we can. BC Raider, who is our newest show host besides myself, is going to be bringing you a Saturday night hype show, getting you ready for the Raiders at Queefs this Saturday night at midnight Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. I don't even know what you're going to get. I have no idea. You just have to show up and find out. But BC is going to get you ready for the big showdown this weekend. So make sure you tune into his hype show this Saturday night, 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern. BC Raider, the Week 14 Saturday Night Hype Show. And of course, tomorrow, the Raider Nation Report with myself. Then Wednesday, we put Ghost to the Post with a little twist on it. Now, on Wednesdays, you get Ghost to the Post. The Silver and Black Edition. The Coast to Coast Edition. With myself and NorCal Raider Rick. As we dig through all of the hot Raider news. And then all of the upcoming games. And make our picks for the week. On Ghost to the Post. Silver and Black Coast to Coast Edition. And then on Thursday, I am super excited about our new Thursday show. I will have my first official in-studio co-host. As the gentleman who's been joining me on my live halftime shows, the captain will now join me for a solid hour every Thursday night. As you get the captain and the commish. Every Thursday night, breaking down everything silver and black. Getting you ready for the upcoming game. in studio every Thursday. And then, of course, on Friday, it's Black Friday. Raider Reaction, Black Friday. And you know what that is. We dust off a Raider classic. Pull her out of the archives and share it with the Raider Nation. Had a good one last week. The 2001 Raiders at Giants. We got it. I told you we was going to get to see 2 W's. Got to see the Friday night W. And then come back and get the Sunday W. Then we could start having the hype shows. BC's hype show on Saturday night. So that closes the gap. Gives you a little Saturday night flavor. And then, of course, we'll be on location again this week. Still trying to figure out which booster club we're going to grace with our presence this week. We're going to be there. Live Raider Reaction halftime show. Get my post-game reaction. Of course, a little meet and greet with Raider Nation in attendance. So we've got a solid week planned for you on Raider Reaction. So I hope you join us. We're mixing up Wednesday and Thursday, putting some new flavor in them. But we're sticking with our typical Monday, Tuesday, and Friday shows. We're also going to be adding in a solo prime cut as well. We were hoping it was going to be this Wednesday, but it may be next Wednesday, but we'll see. Prime was supposed to be here tonight, but he had some scheduling conflicts at the last minute. We'll see, Andrew. We'll see. Possibility. But I'm going to show the whole condensed game tomorrow, so that does take up a good portion of the Raider Nation report, and I do have a lot I want to talk about. Now, obviously, the biggest concern that coming into this week was our wide receiver core, as they were beat up and suspended. Now, the biggest concern, obviously, we're getting Crabtree back because he's been reactivated. To make room for him, Latham was released. So, apparently his stint is done in the silver and black. So Crab is going to be back. Cooper is still a question mark. They're very positive that he'll be there for the Kansas City game, but it's not the concussion issue, as is the ankle issue now, that is his hindrance. Really hope to see both of them on the field on Sunday. We need them both on the field on Sunday. Crabtree needs to come back and play big. He needs to have one of those games. Our offense has to show up against Kansas City. Has to show up and show them whatever you throw, we're ready to throw back. And if our defense continues to make the upward turn as they have the past couple weeks, Bowman, Irvin, Mack. You know why Revis looked old, Michael? Because he is fucking old. You don't go old at corner. No. You don't go after the veteran corner. You after a veteran corner, it's to try and grab him for 1 year and try to catch his flash in the pan greatness. But shit, teams were trying to do that 2 or 3 teams ago with Revis. His greatness is gone. Revis Island, there's no Revis Island. There ain't even a Revis Alley anymore. That shit's been flooded, boarded up, gone. Doesn't exist. It's like fucking Never Land. There's no more Revis Island. I'd like to see him try to cover Crabtree. I agree, Bob. The play calling has improved. It's amazing how the play calling can improve when you're playing against crappy teams where you can sustain drives. That helps. That helps you get in a rhythm. I agree, Paul. He was done when the Bucks, and they've still. When you have a player that was great, not good at one point, but for a very small window, Darrelle Revis was great. Very small window, though. But when you have a player that's great, every team that sucks will try to scoop him up and squeeze that last little bit of greatness out of him. I think get a little more, just get a little more great out of him. No. They're like milk. That shit expires. And when it's done, it's done. It tastes like shit after that. That's Darrelle Revis. He's like old milk. It's not Revis Island anymore. He's old milk. You just don't go old at corner. The fall off is so quick. So quick. When you are trying to cover elite NFL wide receivers that are 6'6", run like a freaking deer, got hands twice the size of mine, and these guys can, they got verticals just out of this planet, and you got to go out and try to keep up with these kids and cover him like a glove. You can't lose half a damn step and be able to keep up. You can't. That's a young man's position. Even Charles Woodson slid to safety because when he lost the step, he wanted to still keep playing at an elite level, and he knew he couldn't do it at corner. There becomes a point. You got to realize you're human. Revis. There's got to be a point. But that's my biggest concern coming into this week is our wide receiver core. I want us to see us with our full slate of weapons coming into this game. I want to see them have to respect our two number one wide receivers. And we will have to wait and see. That's a good question, Ryan. I've been a big Clive Walford fan for a couple seasons now. And I was happy to see that he was coming back again. And he's been solid every time he's in there. He's been solid. Lee Smith the same way. These guys are just football players. They're Raiders. When they play, they get a chance to be on the field, they produce. Now you know how I finish every one of my solo shows, Raider Nation. I like to wrap them up all nice and pretty and finish them off with this little thing I like to call the WTF. So tonight's WTF involves something that me and the captain were discussing yesterday. Well, Conley's out for the season, Ruben. I can answer that one. And Emerson has been practicing. Conley's on IR. He's out for the season. You're not going to see him again until next year, possibly. And Emerson has been practicing. We'll touch on that tomorrow, and I will confirm. But he's still questionable for this week, but he is practicing. But my WTF for tonight involves a little thing we like to call Raider rules. Now, what are Raider rules, might you ask? Well, Raider rules are this apparent little small rule book that all of the officials in the NFL keep in their back pocket. That is the rule book with the rules that only apply to the silver and black. How the rules can be interpreted for our team as opposed to the others. How the same play that's a penalty for us is not a penalty for the opposing team. And what the hell happened? What the hell? It's just Raider rules, man. It's Raider rules. It's okay for them to fuck us, but we can't do it back. That's Raider rules. How many times did you see it yesterday, Raider Nation? I mean, I see guys holding on to Khalil Mack's shoulder pads as he's flying by them. I mean, seriously. Raider rules. We see it every week. It's its own little special rule book that officials use to govern Raider games. It's a rule book for the other 31 teams. Then there's a little special rule book just for us. How they handle us. How they fuck us. Every game, me and the rest of the Raider Nation, we sit and we watch you fucking zebras. And we all say it every goddamn week, multiple fucking times. And we scream it at our TV, in the stands. We scream it. What is it, Raider Nation? What do we scream? We come on! What's with these Raider rules? What the fuck? I'll be back tomorrow for the Raider Nation Report. I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation!